Hello and welcome to this NCFE provider session using devices and handling information, CPD Digital. My name is Charmaine Phelps and I'm a Provider Development Officer here at NCFE. And on the Provider Development team, we support our centres with the planning, delivery and preparation for assessments for specific qualifications. Myself and my colleague Patricia, who I'm joined with today, we both work within the functional skills section. So we support maths and English and digital qualifications. I focus on digital functional skills and Patricia focuses on essential digital skills.
Thank you, Charmaine. So the objectives of this session are to explore the using devices and handling information sections of the essential digital skills and digital functional skills qualifications. So we'll be looking at the assessment structure, entry level 3 content, level 1 content, assessment questions, looking at multi-choice questions and short answer questions, and then the tasks and a summary to end. So we'll start with assessment structure. Here we have the weightings of the Essential Digital Skills Entry Level 3 assessment. For Essential Digital Skills, using digital devices and handling information is the second content area and has the second highest weighting in the assessment behind creating and editing and equal to digital communication. There are 3 questions in the knowledge section which are multiple choice questions and worth 1 mark each. There are 5 marks available for this unit in the task section. Next, we have the weightings of the Digital Functional Skills Entry Level 3 assessment. For digital functional skills, using devices and handling information is the first content area and has the highest weighting in the assessment compared to the other content areas. There is a fairly even split between 2 sections with 5 to 6 marks coming from knowledge section and 7 to 9 marks coming from the tasks section. For digital functional skills, there are short answer questions in the knowledge section as well as multiple choice questions. Moving on to level 1, so here we have the weightings of the Essential Digital Skills Level 1 assessment. Using digital devices and handling information has a similar weighting to entry level 3. There will be 4 questions on this in the multiple choice section and 8 marks available in the task section. The weightings of the Digital Functional Skills Level 1 assessment. There are 5 to 6 marks available in the knowledge section and 4 to 6 marks available in the task section.
Now we'll take a look at the content in a little more depth, starting with entry level 3. We have the content taken from this topic over the next 4 slides side by side. So we have essential digital skills on the left-hand side and digital functional skills on the right-hand side. So we can see the learning outcome 1.1 in both qualifications is worded differently, however, ultimately covers the same content of the main features and uses of different types of devices. In essential digital skills, 1.2 is locating and installing an application, while in digital functional skills, the learning outcome is simply to know what an application is and the main types of application software. 1.3 in both qualifications is broadly similar, with learners needing to be able to apply system settings. The qualification specification for digital functional skills details whether the content will be assessed in the knowledge section of the assessment or the skills section. So for digital functional skills, I've shown that in the final column on the far right hand side. So K is for content that is assessed in the knowledge section. So that's the first section, which for digital functional skills is multiple choice and short answer questions. And S is the skills section. It can't be assumed that the same will apply for essential digital skills, particularly as the command verbs for the learning outcomes is different. For example, in digital functional skills, learners need to know what an application is and the main types of application software, while for essential digital skills, learners must understand how to locate applications and be able to install applications. Now we're looking at finding and evaluating information. And again, the learning outcomes are mapped across to their most similar counterpart between qualifications. For digital functional skills, learners must be able to navigate online content to locate required information and carry out internet searches. And for essential digital skills, learners must understand the terminology and processes used when searching for information and content online and be able to use online navigation tools to review required information. For digital functional skills, these learning outcomes are both assessed in the skills section. But as I said before, we can't be certain whether for essential digital skills that will be the same. For managing and storing information, the content between the qualifications is again broadly similar, although there is no mention of WAV files in the digital functional skills qualification specification. So if we look at the different types of files like doc, PDF, JPEG, MPEG, WAV, they're all listed in essential digital skills, but there's no mention of sound files at all in digital functional skills. The content here is assessed in the skills section for digital functional skills. And since learners need to be able to retrieve information, the only way we can assess this is by providing files that learners must have on their devices to search for. For digital functional skills qualifications, there are pre-release files that must be downloaded from the website, unzipped and stored on learners' devices ready for the day of assessment. For essential digital skills qualifications, the assessment packs that are available to download on booking the controlled assessment in the portal will contain any files that must be saved on learners' devices ready for the assessment. With the content for identifying and solving technical problems, the content for both qualifications covers recognising and solving technical problems and the differences between user error and system error. The solutions that learners must be able to apply are fairly straightforward, such as restarting the device in both qualifications, restarting the application and checking the network connection in essential digital skills, and correcting a user error in digital functional skills. Remember that in digital functional skills in the knowledge section, the questions include short answer questions as well as multiple choice questions. So learners must be able to potentially write a sentence as their answer and possibly remember multiple parts of a learning outcome. Rather than simply use a process of elimination potentially when it's a multiple choice question. And you can think for yourself in answer to this, how do you or how could you teach this content in an engaging way? And we'll take a look at level 1 here. And after we've looked at the content for level 1, we do have some suggestions for some teaching strategies that you might like to try. So again, we've got essential digital skills on the left and digital functional skills on the right. So with finding and evaluating information at level 1. For both essential digital skills and digital functional skills, learners need to be able to carry out searches for files on a device and find information online. Essential digital skills content includes voice controls, whilst this is not featured in the digital functional skills qualification specification. Learners must also understand how to determine the reliability of online searches, and that's covered in both. So we have Learning Outcome 1.2 looking at the reliability of searches, and Learning Outcomes 1.2 and 1.3 for digital functional skills that look at the currency reliability, copyright issues, etc., and thinking about sponsored results when searching for online content. When it comes to managing and storing information, the content across both qualifications is worded differently but covers the same knowledge and skills. It's only in level 1 that file compression is covered. However, it's important to note that in assessments, learners must be able to zip files before uploading them to the assessment platform at both entry level 3 and level 1. This is for digital functional skills. The pre-release files for digital functional skills should be unzipped and stored on learners' devices prior to assessment. So they're looking at various data storage and transfer across both qualifications. So although it is broken down into 4 separate subject content statements for digital functional skills, the same information pretty much is in the single Learning Outcome 2.1 for essential digital skills. At level 1, learners need to be able to solve common technical problems, including changing settings, reinstalling an app, changing Wi-Fi settings, and using online help tools. In essential digital skills, there's a learning outcome that doesn't really have a direct equivalent in digital functional skills, which is to be able to develop their digital skills with online resources. So it's shown here on the slide as separately and not having a corresponding learning outcome for digital functional skills. And again, you can pause the recording and come back to it and think for yourself, how do you or how could you teach this content in an engaging way? Obviously, if you come along to any of our live sessions, then we're able to do this and you're put into breakout rooms with other providers, which means you get to share best practice, which is quite a helpful thing to do and a good reason for coming along to the live workshops. So by all means, pause the recording, but otherwise we'll continue. And we've got some teaching ideas here, fairly generic teaching ideas. It is important to relate to learner interests or needs. So when they're searching for online information, for example, or searching for files, think about how you can relate this to a specific topic that might be of interest to your learners. Also relate to other content areas. Creating a document or poster or presentation, which is part of the creating and editing content area, could involve using information from research and then being saved appropriately somewhere that you can easily access, perhaps using a folder hierarchy structure. And you might want to simulate technical problems to solve, unless, of course, you have plenty of technical problems already as part of your delivery during sessions, either due to system error or user error.
Thank you, Charmaine. We'll take a look at some of the assessment questions now. So here we have the entry level 3 EDSQ, so the Essential Digital Skills qualification, and the multiple choice questions. So if we have a look through these questions, by all means, if you wish to pause the recordings, please do so, but I'll now go through the answers. So what must be checked before downloading an app to a mobile phone? And you've got the choice of A, B, C or D. And the answer in this case is A, available storage. The next question, which one of the following is an accessibility setting that can be changed on a digital device? So is it A, a magnifier, B, security, C, time, or D, Wi-Fi connection? And the answer for this is A. Next question, which one of the following would require a user to use keywords? To access a web browser, to comply with data protection, C, to connect to Wi-Fi, or D, to search for a website? And the correct answer is to search for a website. Next, we look at entry level 3 for the digital functional skills qualification, multiple choice questions. So question 1, which one of the following shows you the text you are writing on your computer? Is it A, a keyboard, B, a monitor, C, a mouse, and D, a speaker? Again, you may wish to pause the recording to answer this. And the answer is B, monitor. A second example, so question 2. Sue makes a mistake when she types in her mobile phone passcode. What is the name of this type of error? A, a message error, B, software error, C, system error, or D, user error? And the correct answer is D, user error. So entry level 3 digital functional skills qualification has short answer questions. So as you can see on the screen, there are 2 questions here. The first one, state one main use of a mobile device. And the second, a laptop has an app that tells you the weather where you live. List 2 other types of app that you might find on a new laptop. So I'll give you a few moments to have a think about those 2 questions. And I'll now share the answers with you from the mark scheme. So next we have level 1 EDSQ multiple choice questions. So question 1, which of the following file sizes is the smallest? So the learners would have to give the answer A, B, C or D. So A 15 gigabytes, B 23 kilobytes, C 83 megabytes or D 12 terabytes. And the correct answer is 23 kilobytes. Next, we've got Tanavia wants to buy a book called Looking After Your Dog by someone called Curtis. Tanvir also wants to support shops in his local town of Westmouth, but he does not know any local bookshops. Which one of the following search terms would return the most accurate results? A. Looking after your dog, Curtis Westmouth. B. Looking after your dog, Curtis Westmouth Bookshop. C. Looking after your dog, Curtis Westmouth Bookshop. Or D. Looking after your dog, Curtis Westmouth. And the correct answer would be C. And the next question, Natalia has forgotten her password for her social media account. When resetting her login credentials, which piece of personal information would Natalia be asked to confirm? A. Date of birth, B. Email, C. Home address, or D. Place of birth? And the correct answer would be email address. Next, we're looking at Level 1 Digital Functional Skills multiple choice questions. So this one, which one of the following is the equivalent to 1000 megabytes? A. Kilobyte, B. Terabyte, C. Gigabyte, or D. Byte? And the correct answer is C. Gigabyte. So like the entry level 3 digital functional skills, the level 1 digital functional skills also has short answer questions. So here are two examples. So state 2 ways you can recognize sponsored results and advertisements in internet search results. And list 3 benefits of file compression. I'll give you a few moments to think about that, and then I'll share the mark scheme. So you can see here you'd have add, sponsored or paid. Caption would appear next to or underneath the link, and often it appears at the top of the page, the first page of results, and can be highlighted with different background colour. And for list 3 benefits of file compression, so you've got multiple files can be combined into one compressed file, reduction in overall file size, and reduces data transfer time.
And now we'll take a look at the tasks section for both essential digital skills and digital functional skills. So here we have a task from Essential Digital Skills, entry level 3. So it simply asks, download and open the document named Phone for Sale by clicking the download button below. And you've got the download button there. And if I show the mark scheme, there's a mark available for simply downloading that. So they've been able to do that correctly. And these questions following are from two separate parts of the Essential Digital Skills Entry Level 3 task section. So they're both assessing content from the handling information and data section, and they're both fairly straightforward. So for the first one, we've got to increase the chance of selling your phone. You want to put it on a selling website. You'll research some selling websites and ask for some advice from a friend. First thing we need to do is select a search engine and search for a selling website using appropriate search terms. Copy the following information found in your search into the boxes below. So it's the words you put into the search and the name of a selling website and its URL. In a live assessment, we will never give a specific website to open, as we are aware of different centres having different whitelisted sites. And we've got the mark scheme shown here. So the mark scheme is quite easy to follow really for Essential Digital Skills, and bear in mind for Essential Digital Skills you will be marking these. Essential Digital Skills is internally assessed, so the teacher can be the supervisor of the assessment and the person who marks the assessments, whereas for digital functional skills they are externally assessed, so the teacher cannot be the invigilator and the learner responses go straight to us and our examiners mark those. So it's quite straightforward. If they select a search engine and search for a website using appropriate search terms, they gain a mark. Appropriate search term, for example, selling websites, entered into the box, whatever they put for the search, and then whatever the name and URL is of whichever website they found, put into the box, gains them a mark. And here we have a entry level 3 question assessing this content for digital functional skills. So the task is looking at a holiday. You want to go to on holiday to Rome. You'll search for a hotel in Rome and then buy a plane ticket. First thing we need to do, which is worth 1 mark, create a new folder on the computer you're working on and name the folder Rome. Create a new word processing document inside the folder Rome and name it Hotel. And there's 2 marks available for that. Next, learners need to download and open the document named Hyperlink using the download button below. Follow the hyperlink within the document to access a website where you can find a hotel in Rome. Use the search options on the website to find a hotel in Rome for one adult from the 28th of July to the 5th of August. And choose one of the hotels from your search results. It tells you what evidence is needing, so learners need to take a screenshot of the search results, place it into the document named hotel, make sure it shows the website you use, the name of the hotel, and the dates of travel. And then for the final part of this question, find the address of your hotel and type this address into the document hotel. And the evidence that's needed is the folder Rome containing the document hotel is turned into a zip folder and uploaded. And the mark scheme is shown here, and again it's quite straightforward in terms of the marks that are available for each part of the question. And like I said, we do have a specific website in the sample materials. However, learners will not need to go to a specific website in a live assessment. So a question might more likely say, search, for example, for this one, instead of looking, going to booking.com, it might say search for a website where you might be able to book a hotel, for example. And then whichever ones are whitelisted will therefore come up. And again, this is quite good because with an activity like this, it's quite straightforward. Although you've got our sample that you can use, by all means, you can create your own tasks to use throughout delivery to make sure your learners are fully familiar and being able to do this type of thing, because it may or may not be something that they would do in real life. Okay, so now we're looking at level 1 task for essential digital skills. We've got the suggested time for this particular question is 20 minutes. It says you work for a local dog shelter. Your manager has asked you to complete a number of tasks. Your manager has asked you to research the best way to fundraise online for the organisation. Create a hierarchical folder structure with a folder named fundraising. Create 2 subfolders named websites and social media. Download and open the fundraising websites document by clicking the download button below. Search the internet for 2 secure websites that support money for animal care. Record the following information in your fundraising websites document: the search terms you use, the URL of each website you've chosen. Save your fundraising websites document to the websites folder you created. It says in the box, take a screenshot of your document in the folder, save the screenshot in the folder fundraising, and then upload your fundraising websites document and screenshot using the upload link below. And again, that would need to be in a zip file. So the mark scheme here shows you how the marks are awarded, and notice for essential digital skills you may have some parts of the assessment that are assessed using a witness observation. When that occurs, you will have notice of this because the witness observation record will make up part of the assessment materials that are available to download on booking of the assessment. So please make sure for essential digital skills, it does state this in the assessor instructions for essential digital skills, that ideally the assessments should take place one-to-one with the supervisor and the learner. But when this is not possible, that however many assessors to learners there are, it should not disadvantage the learner if the ratio is not, it's not possible to have it as a one-to-one assessment. Here we have a level 1 digital functional skills question. Again, this is assessing the same content area, handling information and data. So estate agency, you work for an estate agency, your manager wants you to process data from a document. Create a chart and share it with the rest of your team. Locate the folder named All Results on your device. Search for the file named 2021 Final Results inside the All Results folder, and there's a mark available for this. And what's important is anything in the sample, this one says it's on your device. That means it's not on the platform. That means if you are using the sample digital functional skills assessment with your learners, you must have also downloaded the pre-release materials for that sample. So here we've got another level 1 digital functional skills question. It's a different style of question here where learners have to select. So environmental group, you and your friends want to join a local environmental group. You will search for articles about the group, set up an online account and submit an article to a newsletter. Here are the results of an internet search for articles about environmental groups in their area. Select the link that would lead you to the most recent article. And by all means, you can pause the recording and answer this for yourself, but I'll reveal the answer here. And this arrow shows the way it will look in the actual assessment. So learners need to select by clicking onto the assessment platform, and that will bring the arrow up that they can, if they select it and they change their mind. This one says 20th of November 2022. If they change their mind and they want to change it afterwards, then they can do so. This task involves learners selecting each of the different tutorials and selecting which relates to the problem. So it says your friend has a problem connecting to Wi-Fi on their mobile device. You've downloaded some online tutorials which could help. Which tutorial should you send to your friend? And if learners click on each of these, they'll be able to read through the troubleshooting tutorials. And for example, if they click on this one, which I believe is option, yes, tutorial 2, it tells them what they need to do. It gives them the instructions, so learners can select that as their answer.
Thank you, Charmaine. So that brings us to a summary. So using devices and handling information is assessed through the knowledge and tasks section. Using devices and handling information is one of the highest weighted content areas. Remember to relate the content to learners' interests and highlight the benefits of understanding and being able to use devices and handling information. So you'll find everything related to digital qualifications on the delivery support pages for each qualifications linked here, including our CPD training. We've placed the key contacts on this slide. Myself and Charmaine can support with the planning, delivery and preparation for assessments for your English, Maths and digital qualifications. Charmaine looks after the digital functional skills and I look after the essential digital skills qualification. You can speak with your account manager to discuss additional products, pricing or resources. Particularly, you might be interested in the Digital Functional Skills Bundle offer, which gives you all the resources and access to Skills Builder for a small increase in the registration fee. Customer support will support you with your specific learner queries on the portal and Surpass. I hope you found this virtual training session helpful. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.